Only thing I would suggest is don't make it kind of a competitive, a cricket ball game with full pads, kits. It could be dangerous. So whatever you plan, it should be like very fun. Let's say, for example, basketball is there. You have basketball, you have basketball ring. Instead of having a full basketball game, just free throws. 10 throw. Each parent will get 10 free throws. In that free throws, how much he is converting? You can form a kind of a team and tell whosoever shoots the maximum can win. Like ball, there is a goal, small goal post has been set. Football is there. He will get 5 chances or 10 chances to kick. So he can kick and score. So it can reflect on some kind of a sport, but something that will be fun. It will not be like a serious competition, more recreation type, like badminton, without dropping how many times they are able to rally. Have a small fun that is most enjoyable and more readily done. So use your imagination to inculcate this type of involvement with the parents whenever they come to school, or if your school is okay, create that kind of a situation. It will be a great experience for you, I am sure. Thank you for asking this question.
Thank you so much, sir. And definitely from the chat box itself, the participants are really enjoyed the session, and I hope that they have great takeaways from the session. So we are going to end this interaction session with you. So personally also, sir, I have learned a lot from you. Now I would like to hand over to our principal, ma'am. She wants to say something actually.
Oh, okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Over to you, madam.
Thank you, sir. I am very much happy because you have given a very good class, I think, because this one is a discussion. But for our second semester student, we have this paper. And they are now in second semester. All the second semester student has joined this webinar, and they will be benefited on them.
Thank you, ma'am. I am very happy to be of service.
We are also doing lots for the thing. We are trying our best. In our college, we don't have permanent teacher of physical education. Gautam is doing so many things. Yes. And I am thankful to you, sir, basically.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I am very happy. Anything you want, please let me know. I will be very, very happy to engage myself.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Now over to Madam Shutarapa.
Thank you so much, sir. So now we will move. Yes.
Hello. Madam, can I ask one question?
Yes, please.
Okay. You briefly and quickly ask.
Sir. Okay. Sir, how to implement physical education subject as a optional subject under NEP, sir? Sir, what are the policies that are followed, and whether we have to take to implement this subject from the Ministry of Education, as we don't have this subject in our state board. So how can we implement such subject as optional?
The easiest option is just adopt from the CBSE. CBSE is having already established physical education curriculum for their 11th and 12th standard. So just copy ditto from that and try to start in state board. This is what CBSE is following. Maybe you can tinker it a little bit, 10%, 5%, make it little easy. Ideally, I would say just follow. This is followed by CBSE. The same physical education curriculum you follow in the state. They've already done the work. So you just need to adopt the same curriculum here.
Okay, thank you, sir. Yeah. Thank you so much. Now we will move forward to our third session. The third session is by Dr. Roshan Limbu, sir, and I hope that sir has joined here. So Dr. Roshan Limbu, sir, is the lecturer, District Institute of Education, Elementary Education and Training, Hailakandi, Assam. He did his PhD in sports psychology from Amravati University. He had worked as a former assistant professor, CSPS Dibrugarh University, and he has got vast teaching experience in the field of physical education. So today, sir is going to enlighten us on the topic psychological issues and challenges and their management through physical education, sports and exercise science. So now we are inviting Dr. Roshan Limbu, sir, for your kind deliberation. So over to you, sir.
A very good morning, everyone. So I think it's afternoon. A very good afternoon,
Yeah.
each and everyone.
Good
First of
afternoon,
all,
sir. Good afternoon, sir.
thank you, Sadrupa ma'am, for your invitations. So before starting my presentations, first of all, I would like to take privilege to express my gratitude toward the TT College, SILCHAR, and Dr. Aparna Bhattacharya ma'am, Principal IC, TT College, SILCHAR, and coordinator of today's webinar, Mr. Gautam Kumar Das. Thank you very much for this opportunity. So let me start now. Kindly let me share my slides. Is it visible?
Yes, sir. It is visible.
Okay, thank you. So once again, very good afternoon, everyone. As already mentioned, today's my topic of my presentation is psychological issues and challenges and their management through physical education, sports and exercise science. We all are familiar with the term psychology. If we observe or if we see the present scenario or if we consider the 21st centuries or the present times, the importance of psychology is increasing day by day. So let me consider the field of the games and sports, or let me consider the field of corporations world, where day by day the level of competitions is increasing to overpass each other. So what will happen? Whatever physical or whatever physiological fitness or qualities or skills or techniques we need, that already we explore up to optimum level that capacities or capabilities. Now the only things which will make a slight difference in performance of the one individuals or one corporations from others or one team or one player from others is the psychological fitness. That psychological fitness only used to be differentiate the performance. If we consider, let me take the examples of the football only. If we consider the level, international levels footballers, if we consider their skill levels, their fitness levels, their technique levels, they are approximately their equivalent or equal. The differences, some players, among them also some players are considered as the best players, some are considered as more effective, some are considered more creative. The only reason is the psychological fitness. If you consider the footballs, if you consider the fitness level of the Messi, Ronaldo, or the other footballers, the fitness levels or skill levels are somehow equivalent or similar. Only the things which make them different is the psychological fitness. That means Ronaldo or the Messi, they know when to hold the ball and when to hold or when to release the ball better than the other players. In a particular playing time, in which positions he have to be present or which positions he have to be left, he or she know in better way. Or he know when he have to run with the ball or hold the ball or when he have to release the ball, and if he have to release the balls or if to pass the ball to the teammates, to which teammates he will pass, so will get the maximum efforts or outcomes. So they know that one is better than other players. That's why they are considered as best player in the world. So from this one we can understand the importance of psychology in our day-to-day lives, especially in the 21st century, which is the periods of competitions. as the situations or as the present time is full of competitions and time to time hit by different disasters like tsunami, earthquakes, and at present time the biggest disaster, that is the COVID-19. This kind of disaster or this kinds of emergency situations created many challenges and issues in our day-to-day lives. So let us see what kind of challenges and what kind of issues they put in front of us and how we are going to be handled or how we are going to be deal with those things. So before that, let us see what is. Before that, let us see. Am I audible?
Sir, you are audible. Only we can see the first slide only.
Yeah, actually, I didn't change yet. Sorry for that.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. It is okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us see first. Before we see what kind of psychological challenges and issues we face at present times, before that one, let we understand what is psychological issues and what are psychological challenges. Let me first start with the psychological challenges. What exactly psychological challenges means? Psychological challenges are the conditions or the factors or the situations that used to be influence our thinking, feelings, behavior, and relationships. So any factors or any conditions or any situation that used to be influence anyone's thinking, feelings, behavior, or relationship with others or relationship with the surrounding, those factors, those conditions, those situations are considered as psychological challenges. Let me come to the psychological issues. What is psychological issues? The conditions or the factors or the situation that disturbs psychological state of an individual. That means, any conditions, any factors, any situation that used to be disturb our internal state, that is either mental state or either emotional state or or social state, that particular condition, factor or situation are considered as psychological issues. So let us see what are the common psychological challenges we face at present times. Psychological challenges which we have to be deal at present times due to the increase in competitions or various kind of disasters are: first one is mental fitness, the second one is emotional intelligence, third one is social fitness, fourth one is peace and harmony, fourth one is consistency, fifth one is next one is motivations, then concentrations, and last one is attitudes. So these are the major challenges or the psychological challenges we have to deal at present times. That means in the 21st centuries. The first challenge is, it is the biggest challenge for us to remain mentally fit at present times due to the increasing competitions and various kinds of disasters. It is very, very challenging to be mentally fit. So before we understand what is mental fitness, we have to understand fitness. So what is fitness, or how we are going to define fitness? Let me see first that one. Fitness is nothing else but it is the capabilities or capacities or abilities of an individual to perform his daily tasks without fatigue, with plenty of reserve energies to meet the emergency situations and enjoy the leisure times. So that is known as fitness, or we used to be defined this way, but the term fitness. The mental fitness means it is the ability of our mind to be perform our daily tasks without fatigue, with plenty of reserve energies to enjoy the leisure times or the family times At the same time, to meet the emergency situation. Like if you, after completing, after performing your duties in your particular office or in particular institutions, if you go back to home, suppose your child asks you to let's go for playing footballs, or let's go for watching football match, or if he or she will ask you to further, can you help me to complete this homework? So on that particular situation, so you have enough mental energies to fulfill the demands of your child. That means if he asks you to go to watch a football match, you are ready to go with him without any kind of disturbances or any kind of, we may say that, angerness or anxieties or aggressions. And then at the same time, if he or she will ask for help with his or her homework, you are ready to perform that one with joy and enthusiasm. That is the biggest challenge or the psychological challenge we face at present. That means we are unable, or it is difficult for us to maintain the mental fitness. Second one is to remain emotionally intelligent. That is the one of the biggest challenge we face at present times. To remain emotionally intelligent. So before we understand what kind of challenge it is, let me see what is emotional intelligence. The emotional intelligence used to be defined as the ability of individuals to identify and assess his or her own and others' emotions. That means it is biggest challenge for us to identify our emotions, the emotions of our peer groups, the emotions of our students, the emotions of our family members, and at the same time to deal with those emotions positively, constructively. That is the second psychological challenge we face. Third one is social fitness. If we observe our peripherals at present situations, we see that if we approach any peoples, we see that most of the peoples used to behave aggressively or rudely, or they lack in civic senses. To maintain social fitness, that means how to interact with others, or how to deal with the others, or how to maintain cooperations, or how to give helping hands to others, how to behave with others politely, or how to handle the insult or the comments or any situations passed on you by others. That is the biggest challenge at present times. If someone used to insult us, if someone used to pass some comments to us, immediately we used to or our personality or our behavior used to be influenced by that time. Immediately we used to become angry, or we used to become sad. So how to remain free from such kind of external factors, and how to interact positively and constructively with others, or how to maintain a good relationship, it is a very, very big challenge at present times. Next one, that is peace and harmony. To maintain the peace and harmony, also a big challenge for us. At present times, I already mentioned, it is a period of competitions and disasters. So at such kind of situations or such kind of periods, it is very difficult to maintain a peaceful relationship. If you have to compete with with others, or with your counterparts, it is very difficult to maintain at the same time good relationship or peaceful relationship or cooperation with him or her, or harmony within him and her. So that one is the biggest challenge we face at present times. Next one is consistency. To remain consistent with our efforts, with our actions, with our relationships, it is the biggest challenge for us at present times. If we see at present times, if we have to start some things, or if we have to engage, just now I'm listening about our previous presentations. Sir is giving a very nice presentations, and they are talking about a workout. Suppose you want to start your workout. It is easy for to start your workout or start your daily exercises. But the biggest things which used to be influence or affect your health in a positive way is the consistency. To start is easy to be hang up with that particular routines or that particular tasks for a longer durations, which used to be lead to the ultimate outcomes. That is the very difficult for us. It is really a big challenge for us to be remain consistent with anyone's. It is very easy, or it is very simple to say someone's that, oh, I'm your good friends. But to maintain or to remain that relationship for a longer duration, for lifetime, it is the challenges for us. Next one, that is motivations. To be remain motivated for every times or each times or in every situation, this is very difficult for us. So before that one, let us see what is motivations. Motivation is any factors that used to be energize and direct our efforts. So if you want to do some things, to be remain energetic or enthusiastic and directed every time or in every situations on any durations, that is very big challenge for us. Maybe in a particular situation we'll able to be concentrated on a particular things, or particular time we'll be able to engage with our full enthusiasm, or able to perform a particular task with full enthusiasm. But at a second instance, as the time needs to be passed, it is difficult for us to maintain that particular motivation levels. So that's why it is said that motivations help us to be start some things, and discipline help us to be hang out with that particular routine or that particular task. And next one is concentrations. To be remain concentrated, that means to focus our attentions in a particular things, in a particular task, in a particular goals. It is very difficult for us, or it is very challenging for us. At some point or for a short period of durations, we may be able to concentrate on a particular task or a particular things. But for a longer durations, for a particular prolonged durations, to be concentrate in any tasks or any works or any things, it is a very big challenge for us. And next one is attitudes. To maintain a positive, that means attitude means, let me define what attitude first. The point of views. Attitudes in simple terms, if we define attitude, it is nothing else but it is point of views. To maintain a positive, constructive and enthusiastic attitudes is a big challenge at present times for us. Am I audible? Okay. So these are some common challenges or the psychological challenges we face at present times. The first one is that one, mental fitness, to remain mentally fit, emotionally fit, socially fit, to be peace and harmony, to be consistent, to be motivated, to be concentrate, and to be maintain a positive, constructive, and enthusiastic attitudes. It is the biggest challenge for us at present times. So let me move to the psychological issues. What are the psychological issues we have to be dealt or we have to be overcome? Some of the common psychological issues with which we have to be deal in our day-to-day life, that are the stress. These are the common psychological issues we are dealing in our day-to-day lives. Okay, the first one is stress. The second one is depressions. The third one is anxiety. The fourth one is aggressions. The next one is burnout, and the last one is addictions. There are much more psychological issues are there, but I'm discussing the common psychological issues. The first one is stress. Stress is the biggest issues this generation, so our generation at this present times we have to be deal. So what is stress? Let us see. So anything that used to be obstructs our outcomes and result in unstructured behaviors. Results in unstructured behaviors is known as stress. That means, at the beginning only I give the example, if someone pass some comments or insult you, if it used to be obstruct your outcome, that means if you're working some things or if you are working on some things with full energy and full motivations or full enthusiasm, due to that comments, that particular comments, if it will affect your performance, if it affect your attitudes, then it is considered as an stress. Second one is depressions, with which we have to deal at day-to-day life. Is depressions are the feelings of sadness, low, and negativities. At present times, this is the biggest challenge. If we face any kind of difficulties, if any kind of challenges, any kinds of failures, immediately we used to be attacked by depressions. We have to be deal with this one positively and constructively. That one we're going to discuss later, how we're going to deal with this kind of psychological issues. The next biggest challenge is anxiety. So what is anxiety? Let us see. If we ask someone in an auditorium at a sudden, come forward and deliver lectures or express your views or express your thoughts, suddenly he or she used to get scared. Or her hand or legs used to be start shaking. Or at the same time, her words won't be come out from the mouth. And that particular feelings is known as anxiety. And that anxiety is nothing else but it is the vague form of fear. That means you get scared in a particular situation, in a particular environment, in a particular time. But you don't know exactly for what reasons you are scared. And that is the biggest challenge we face at present times. Next one is aggressions. If someone pass some comments on us, or if someone did something wrong to us, immediately we used to become angry or aggressive. Or we intended to harm him or her physically or psychologically. That means, what is aggressions? Aggression is nothing else, but it is an overt behaviors intended to harm a living beings, either physically or psychologically. Next, psychological issue with which we have to deal every day is burnout. That means, due to the monotony of a particular task or monotony of a particular situations, the frustrations we used to be feel from a particular situation or particular task or particular actions or particular work is known as burnout. So this is the one of the biggest challenge or biggest issues we face in day-to-day lives. And last one, which is a common psychological issue, is addictions. If you observe our periphery, we will see that nowadays more and more people get addicted to drugs and alcohols, and the biggest new kind of addiction is come to existence, that is addictions to the mobile phones or the internet. Not only the adults, teenagers, children also get in the grip of those addictions. So these are some psychological issues with which we have to be deal every day at present times. So let me see now how we are going to manage these psychological challenges and psychological issues through physical education, sports and exercises, or through exercise sciences. First of all, let me see how we are able to deal with those challenges, psychological challenges and issues with the help of physical education. Physical education suggests us or give us some relaxation techniques which help us to deal with those challenges or the issues positively, or to maintain the optimum levels of those issues. As we already mentioned, psychological issues, stress, depression, anxiety, aggressions, burnout, addictions. Somehow these psychological issues are not negative variables. They also have a positive impact on us if we maintain it in optimum levels. If there is no stress, we are not going to get any kind of outcomes. But when it is more than its optimum level, that means average level, then only it affects negatively. And that one is the effect of this stress, depression, anxiety, aggression, burnout, and addictions. This is very nicely explained by the Jorhat and Rodson's inverted U theories. It is said that whenever we suffer from the stress, depression, anxiety, aggressions, what will happen? Our arousal levels, our activation levels of the body, it used to be increased. So when it starts to be increased, with that one, that increased level of activations, our performance also used to be increased. And it reached an optimum level or the average level where our performance used to be maximum. And when that activation level or that arousal level used to be cross that optimum levels or that average level, then suddenly our performance start to be decreased. So that is very nicely explained by the Jorhat and Rodson's inverted U theory. The relationship between the psychological issues and performance. So let us see how we are going to deal, or how physical education help us to deal with common psychological challenges and issues. Physical education gives us some relaxation techniques which help us to control or deal with those psychological challenges and issues positively. The first technique suggested by physical education is progressive relaxations. So in this technique, what will happen? An individual used to be at a lie or sit on a quiet and peaceful room. If you have to lie on his back, head should be up, and his or she should be in relaxed positions. And if you will sit, he or she should be sitting in a comfortable and relaxed positions. What in this question, in this technique, what he or she will do? he or she will start either from the bottom or either from the tops. And this one, what will be? Suppose we start from the bottoms. So first of all, we start to be relax, stress the muscles of a particular body part. Suppose if we start from the top, we start to be stress our forearm muscles. And at the same time, we used to be, at the second instance, we used to be released. So that way, we used to be progress from one part to another. From forearm, we stress and relax our muscles. From forehead, we move to our left cheeks, then right cheeks, then to necks, then to chest. Like that way, we used to be moved to, or we used to be progress from one part to another muscles, or one muscles to another muscles. Second one is autogenic training. The position will be same as mentioned in the first techniques. So here what we'll do, we used to be bring a feelings of heaviness and coldness in our muscles or various limbs. Suppose we start from our left hands or left forearms, so we'll bring a feelings of warmth and heaviness in our left forearms. Then from that one we move to our upper arms, then to deltoids. Like that way we progress from one part to another. The third technique is biofeedback training. In biofeedback training, what will happen? Here we used to be experiments with our thoughts. Generally in biofeedback training, we used to be take the help of some instruments like ECG machines. So here what will happen, whenever we suffer from any kind of psychological issues like anxiety, stress or aggressions, so in that particular situations, we used to run various thoughts in our minds. Suppose we are suffering from anxiety. So, if we use biofeedback on that one, what we'll do, we run various thoughts in our minds, and we try to detect the thoughts which will help us to minimize our activation levels, or anxiety levels, or the stress levels, or the aggression levels. And after practicing that particular techniques in laboratories for a longer duration of period, we practice it or we implement it in our day-to-day lives, or it will become conditions. So whenever we suffer from any kind of anxieties or the stress, we used to be run those thoughts which will help us to be minimize the activation levels or that particular stress or anxiety or aggressions. The next one is last technique. That one is meditations. Maybe the next speaker, that is Bikash Borauh, is going to be explained it on in better way. But still, I would say that in meditations, what we used to do, we used to be concentrate or focus our attentions to a particular thoughts, to a particular things, or to a particular objects. Or we try to be focus our attentions or concentrate our attentions on emptiness. So results, we will feel relaxed, our activation level is to be decreased. So these are some common techniques which help us to deal with psychological issues and challenges suggested by physical education. Next one is sports and exercise. So how sports and exercise help us to deal with the psychological challenges and issues? Let us see. Participation of sports and exercise is to break the monotony or the routine lives. Second things, it helps us to be discharge the emotions or the aggressions which are born inside of us. Third one is participation in sports and exercise help us to be disciplined. Participating in sports and exercise will provide us an opportunities or platform to be sources. And at the same time, it helps us to be conditions with various psychological variables or psychological challenges or issues like anxiety, aggressions. What will happen whenever we engage in sports and exercises? Infrequently, we face various kind of situations which used to put us in aggressions, which used to put us in anxiety, which used to put us in stress. And every time we used to deal with that particular kind of stress, anxiety, or aggressions, and we will become able to, or will beat those anxieties or those stress or those aggressions. As a result, it will become conditions for us to overcome or to deal with that one. And third one is it divert from addictions. Participation in sports and exercises divert us from any kind of addictions. So let us see in details how participation in sports and exercise help us to deal with various psychological challenges and issues. The first one is break monotony. So what will happen whenever we engage in a particular task in daily basis, same routines, same timings, same kind of work? So what will happen? We suffer from the burnouts. We still suffer from the burnouts. But in between that ones, if we take a break and engage in some kind of games and sports, some kind of exercises, it is to break our monotony. As a result, we regain the energies and enthusiasm to increase our creativity, to increase our productivity. Second one is sports and exercise provide us a fertile platforms to discharge our emotions and aggressions legally. In the words of Carl Jung, he said that the unreleased or undischarged emotions and aggressions used to be brushed out in odd time, in odd manners. That's why it is very, very important to be released or to be discharged our emotions and aggressions. We should not be hold them inside of us. Otherwise, what will happen? It used to be brushed out in a particular or in a odd situation, in a odd manners, and we won't be able to discharge it anywhere, anytime. But sports provide, or games and sports provide, an fertile opportunities for us to be discharged. If we become angry in office for some reasons, or in home, family members in home for some reasons, when we go to play, due to that, you are angry on your family members or you are angry with your works. But when you engage in playgrounds, that angerness is still with you. So if you become angry, so on that chance only you maybe hit someone or the opponent players with the intention to harm him, but with legal manners under the laws of that particular rules, particular games and sports. So once you hit opponents with limited rules and regulations, what will happen? That angerness used to be brushed out and you will feel free. Next one is build disciplines. In home, maybe your child is not ready to listen to you. In schools, maybe your students are not ready to listen to you. Or in college, maybe your trainees are not ready to listen to you. And as per the RTA Act, you are not permitted to punish them also. So what will happen if you engage them in games and sports? What will happen if they used to behave or break the disciplines or the rules and regulations of that particular games or particular sports? What will happen? They used to get cushions with cards, or he or she may be dismissed from the competitions or from the match. As a result, what will happen? They start to slowly they start to obey the rules and regulations of particular games and sports. And from that one, that developments on the playing fields, it used to be transferred to his or her day-to-day lives. The next one, as I already explained, it helps to condition with psychological variables or psychological issues. Every day we feel lots of many kinds of psychological stress or aggressions or anxieties. Every day we have to deal with that particular issues of that particular challenges. It will become normal for us. If we face that particular kind of stress, that particular kind of anxiety or that particular kind of aggressions in our day-to-day life, we used to take it normally, or we used to take it, or we used to handle it normally, or we used to overcome it normally. And third, last one is, it used to divert us from any kind of addictions. Whenever you engage in games and sports, you are elevated, motivated enough to give better performance or be the opponent or win the competition. So as a result, what will happen? Your concentrations are much more focused towards your performances, than to be focused towards unnecessary things. At the same time, you engage in sports and exercises, what will happen? You feel tiredness. As a result, after engaging in particular activities or exercise or sports, you don't have energies to go out and mix up with your friends or engage in some kind of addictions, or to sit with your phones to play games or anything else, some kind of browse the internet. You don't have that kind of energies or enthusiasms. So by that way, sports and exercise help us up to some extent to deal with, not I won't say completely, but up to some extent it helps us to deal with psychological challenges and issues. Besides that, there are some techniques which help us to deal with those psychological issues and challenges. Let me see what are these. The first one is be proactive. If we be proactive means if we take responsibilities for each and everything on you, whatever happened with you, especially whatever, not for others, okay? Not for others, for you, whatever happened with you, whatever you achieve or whatever you fail to achieve, if you take full responsibility for that one, then you remain proactive. As a result, you feel less stressed, you feel less aggressive, you feel less anxious. Second one is begin